Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 15 of the Player Podcast. I'm Kirk.
I'm Luke.
And today, we've got a special guest with us. This is season 16.
Thank you.
Episode 1 through 8.
Shut up.
Coeur d'Alene Zone, Jacob Maxwell. Jacob, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm a fan.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing really well. I'm excited to talk about how much better I am than you at Smash Bros. And pick your guys' brains on video games.
That's not that hard to do, though. Like, be better than him at Smash.
No, it just feels good.
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. It does feel good.
Yeah. If you lose, I'm happy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah.
This week, we're going to do a lesson on bullying.
Mental health therapy.
And we're going to teach you how to bully. With Kirk
Step
as our
one.
subject.
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Jacob, how long have we known each other?
I think in total, I've known of you before we met because I watched a movie at North Country Chapel. And honestly, before I think I was like truly a child at that point. I think I like officially met you when I was like 16, 17. So
right.
like 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we had our first interaction around the same amount of time ago, but never really
Right.
officially met you till the Qdoba days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Qdoba was so. I was like brand new at Qdoba.
Uh-huh.
You guys just started
together?
working there.
No, I never worked there. I came in all the time.
And he like knew everyone there, and
Yeah.
everyone like gave him a discount and everything. And I was
Just
like,
'cause you
I
came
was
in
like
so
brand
much?
new, and I didn't know that I could like give discounts out or anything.
Oh.
So like he walks over and I like tell him the price, and he's like, "Oh, can I get the discount?" And I was like, "Oh, it's like for when the employees know you." And he goes, "Hi, I'm Jacob." And I was like, "Hi, Jacob," and I give him the discount.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, "That's pretty good."
I
That's pretty good.
worked like behind you guys at Peak Fitness.
Peak, yeah.
And
Oh,
so they were.
okay.
It was always this like, yeah, you're pretty much in the discount thing, but
Sure.
yeah, I came
Yeah.
in an unhealthy amount of times, like every shift I came into Qdoba.
It's good.
I went to
It's
Qdoba
really
every
good.
shift too, actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet you did. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it has been a while. I've
Yeah.
known you guys. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a long time coming, the least to say. We're glad to have
Absolutely.
you.
I'm grateful to be
We can
here.
tell from your shirt, you're a bit of a Nintendo Pokemon fan.
I am a fan
Tell
of
us about
Nintendo's
that.
Pokemon.
How long have you been into video games, Jacob?
So I would say my whole life I've been like playing video games, but I got really into specific like franchises where I never quite been the person that's like, I just want to play any video game that I hear of, but I was really into like early PlayStation and Pokemon, and I like kind of stuck with that for a
Early
while.
PlayStation, so when you were 5, PS4 was coming out? Is that?
I think I'm 2 years younger than you.
Okay,
so
PlayStation 3.
yeah. No, I have PS1 through 5 right now currently
wow.
because
Wow.
I'm a collector as well
You're
of
like one of the
just
1%.
those. Yeah, honestly.
You know?
No, we played like I played like the late 90s like Spyro games. I
Yes.
played
I love Spyro.
Ratchet and Clank a lot.
okay.
I only could play like a handful of games my parents would let me, so it was like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Spyro.
The Ratchet and Clank titles just
Oh.
were right under their noses.
Oh yeah, apparently. Or they just thought if I didn't ask, maybe they wouldn't have to talk about it.
Right.
Going commando up
They
your
just
arsenal.
assumed.
Yeah. And then Pokemon was like a huge thing for me and my neighbors growing up because we grew up in the neighborhood together for like 15 years. So we played every Pokemon game except for like the early ones that we didn't have like the consoles for. But by like, I'd say Gen 2
What did you
on.
not play? Like,
I didn't play like,
and-
I didn't play the early ones like
Okay.
Fire Red or like, or Red or Green or Blue. I didn't play any of those, but like from Gen 3 on, we played. So we played like Ruby
Nice.
and Emerald and stuff.
Nice.
And yeah, so that's always been a big part of my life. And
I feel like every time I walked into the coffee shop you worked at, you and one other random coworker would be playing this Pokemon game.
yes, so
Can you tell us about that?
yeah, so we just made it up with my friends a long time ago, and then Dean at my work,
Yeah.
he was also kind of a childhood Pokemon fan.
Okay.
Except he's best with like the early gens, but I have a little more, memory of the new ones. But we would play this game where I'd basically say I'm thinking of a water type Pokemon in the gens of 1 through 3.
Nice.
And then, as you guessed, the only rules are you can't choose a starter or a legendary because it's just
Too easy.
you can just go to that right off the bat,
Yeah.
so it's no point. And you have to make sure that its final evolution isn't actually like a Gen 4 extra evolution, or
Oh,
like like they gain a new type in this thing. You have to stick to like whatever
Even
it's
picking a Pokemon requires a pretty
like.
good amount of
Yeah, knowledge and
Yeah.
memory. And so if it was like, I don't know, anybody. If I just wanted to choose like Breloom or something, it's like grass and fighting. You would just want to reveal only one type to start,
Okay.
and as they get closer and
Okay,
closer
sure.
to it and dwindle
So
it
it's like 20
down,
questions for Pokemon.
yeah, you would just say like,
But it's a lot
okay,
more than 20.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 75.
If someone can get it in 20. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's cool if you get the first try, but
Right.
typically after like 10 in, you're like, okay, it's not Gen 3, and then you
Give it a
dwindle
hint.
down the gens. And
It knows quick attack.
no, that's one thing Dean knew well was like he knew their
the
like
moves
their
and
entry,
stuff?
their Pokédex entry, and
Oh,
he knew
wow.
like moves that they learned, and I was like, I didn't know that. I just knew names and
What a nerd.
such an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, good times. That's
Yeah,
what
you
I
can
did
say
every
whatever
day.
you want about Dean. I guarantee he doesn't listen to this.
He'll watch this one.
Well, our main topic for the podcast today is not Summer Games Fest because we're recording this before, so we don't know what's happening. I'm going to stream those this weekend, also last weekend.
Which you've
this is
seen
airing
already.
next week. So,
Okay.
But today we're going to do a Legend of Zelda tier list. We're going to go through all the mainline games. I could not find a complete tier list of all the games online.
Really?
There were so
Wow.
many that they were missing just one, or they
That's
included
weird.
like the CDI games, which are unnecessary,
Yeah.
or they would have like they had Link's crossbow training, but not Breath of the Wild. I'm like, what is
Are you
happening?
serious?
Yeah.
Like the
we
Wii,
all
like.
know Link's crossbow
Yeah.
training is better than Breath of the Wild.
What?
Are you
Like-
kidding?
Like,
No, it's the
Link's
best game
crossbow
ever
training
made.
is like
Yeah.
It's
triple S
unmatched.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sure.
We're just starting with S2.
Right, exactly. So just know Link's crossbow training is
Yes.
above everything that we talk about
Right.
today.
That's
Yeah.
just
As long as it's understood, then we shouldn't even have to
Right,
put
we
it into
don't
a
even have to
category.
put
That's why I was
Yeah.
curious why it was on a list. It's like,
Yeah,
why would
exactly.
you-
Like,
Is this a question?
That's an undisputed Zelda fact. Like everyone knows that, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in release order, and we will start with The Legend of Zelda.
Hmm.
Boys,
Now-
where do you think? I'm just gonna throw it in B for now. That's where it'll.
Yeah.
When
Sure.
we'll throw it in B and then go from there.
I have a question for this. How you go about this system?
Go ahead.
Do you go off of only like objective points, or do you allow subjective, like personal experience, to be a part of your decision
So
making?
since there's 3 of us, it's gonna be pretty subjective.
Yeah, some level of there's some level of objectivity in it, of course.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, like of course your own opinions and how you experience the game is going to affect
Sure.
that, right?
Sure.
And
So-
if you'd say C and he says S and I say B, it will just put it in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
It's a corporate tier list. It's not
I
perfect.
understand.
So.
Okay. So the first ever.
So, question: have either of you played the first ever Legend of Zelda?
I never played the very
I
first.
I started it
Mm.
and got my sword.
Cool. So I'll
And
read it.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
I have. Yeah.
Have you beat it?
I haven't. It's very hard.
Take it off the
Okay.
list. We can't.
No.
This game sucks.
No, I played it quite a bit. I would like to. I got the NES controllers for the Switch. It'd be fun
Oh,
to sit
wow.
down and play through that a summer and like switch off or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
If either of you end up being down for that, it'd be
Yes,
fun.
that'd be awesome.
We'll need a guide.
Yeah.
It's pretty obnoxious how hard this game is, but I think honestly, like for an NES game, it's really solid. I just leave.
I mean,
it.
of course it
I-
is, right?
I
Like
leave it in B.
it started everything.
Yeah, it's a classic
forward, right?
Miyamoto
Yeah.
design. It started the. I mean, it really just starts off. You're on a screen and it doesn't tell you anything, and you can totally miss your sword, like the little
Right.
cave right there.
Yeah,
Really?
You can
And you
just
go
walk
get the
right by
sword,
it.
or you cannot get
Yeah.
it. And
Wow.
yeah, so finding every little thing, and it's super creative the way that they.
But
Like the
actually,
top-down style.
like I've heard a lot of people compare Breath of the Wild to this game
Yes.
more than any other Zelda game because once you start, you can just go do whatever. Like
Right.
Really?
you can
Yeah.
go anywhere, you can do anything, like just right off the
This
bat.
one is more linear than Breath of the Wild because you have to do the dungeons
Oh, okay.
kind of in
Okay.
order. You can do them somewhat out of order.
Sure.
But in order to get to Ganon and beat it, you have to have X
Right.
amount of
Right.
items. But yeah, I would just say B tier for this one.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
for
mean,
its
I'm not
notoriety
really
of
good at
just
that, yeah.
being the first, it has to be above C, you know?
Definitely. And strangely, it's one they've never remastered.
That is interesting.
Oh, yeah,
They've
that's-
ported it to like Game
interesting.
Boy and stuff, but they've
Right.
never. I would love like a
How,
Link's
how
Awakening
cool? Yeah,
style
I was just gonna
remake.
say that. How
Mm.
cool would the Link's Awakening style remake be?
That'd be
for-
so
for
sick.
this game? That
That'd
would
be
be
super
awesome.
cool.
Do you think part of the reason they haven't remastered it is because of how difficult it is?
or how different it would have to look and feel because they started off with this just like crane
Right.
view, just
Well,
single.
I think they could. It is kind of a weird camera angle. I think it would translate really well to the top-down Zelda games.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think they could nerf the difficulty a little bit too. I don't know. I think I don't know why they've never done it.
Interesting.
Okay.
The next one they also have never remastered, and I'm
Probably never will.
probably never will,
Yeah.
and nobody really wants them to because it's terrible.
Have you played this one?
The Adventure of Link? Am I again gonna be the only one here?
I have not played that one
Okay,
either.
Luke,
Yeah,
have you?
no,
Okay.
I feel
We'll just
so
drop that
bad.
in D tier. We don't need an explanation.
Whoa.
I
bad.
I agree with you
It's
though.
terrible.
I've heard just horrendous
It's-
things about it.
It's the only side-scrolling. Well, it's the only fully side-scrolling Zelda,
Right.
and you like shoot your sword, and the combat is awful. The idea was
Yeah.
to like
Shooting
make
your
it more
sword
like
is-
sword fighting,
Mm-hmm.
but the enemies are super unpredictable, and you have to like crouch and stab or jump and stab, and
It's really
it's
interesting.
just really hard.
that they moved from top down to side scroller in the same generation.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Well,
first
this
one
was
was
more
the
like-
first one was successful, was it not?
They did
Like,
it because of
Right.
the sword fighting. The focus of this game is the combat,
is the combat.
and it's
Mm.
bad.
Damn.
The exploring is also not very good. They have a top-down map that's like the overworld map you can run around on, but it's pretty lackluster.
Sure.
And if you encounter anything, it just throws you into a side-scrolling map. There's a bunch of translation issues in this game,
Ooh.
which are on some pretty important plot points, so it
Nice.
makes it really hard
That's
to
awesome.
progress. Yeah, it's just a
Link,
it's just,
you have to
honestly,
go
it's-
defeat Princess Zelda and save Ganon. I don't wait.
He's like stabbing it. Yeah, no, it's for sure the worst Zelda game ever
Sure.
made.
Dang.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I trust your word on that.
Yeah, and we don't have a F tier, so we'll just Link to the Past. Come on, please, boys.
Yeah.
You played Link to the
I
Past.
have played through it. I haven't beaten it, but I played it when I was younger.
Yeah.
I've started it. That's it.
I'm just gonna pop that in S tier. Jacob, do you have any thoughts?
I want to rebuttal, but I don't know if I could give you the proper argument. I think that's where that subjectivity comes into play,
For
where
sure.
I just think as we get closer into like the late 90s and early
Yes, we'll get
2000s,
there,
I
yeah.
think that S tier is going to be like,
It might like
It's not
slide
the
down
same.
a little bit,
Okay.
but I think
okay.
Link to the Past is regularly in the conversation for me for best Zelda game.
Yeah, I mean that's
Really?
definitely like that's what I've heard.
This,
When
all the tropes you think of when you think of Zelda, the ocarina, the hook shot, the bow and arrow, playing an instrument, saving the princess, defeating Ganon, all of that came from this.
Mm.
The world in this game is super expansive, and you can kind of go pretty much wherever you want. It does have that classic Zelda Metroid kind of progression
Sure.
where you need
Yeah.
items to get to certain areas and
Right.
stuff. But you get the Master Sword in this game, you upgrade your tunic. The opening of this game is one of the most dramatic in any
the
Zelda
opening's
game.
pretty cool. Yeah.
He wakes up from sleep like always,
Right.
but the uncle takes off with a torch and says, "Don't go anywhere." And
Right.
of course, you go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's all raining and it's really moody.
Yeah.
You go into the sewers to save Zelda. It's pretty cool. And for the hardware they had, the soundtrack,
Sure.
and then they had the whole Dark World, which is a mirrored version of the whole overworld
The
map.
theme
That's
song of this game is one of the better ones in my opinion. The opening theme.
Yeah,
like
it's the Zelda.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
that came from
oh, did
the
it?
original.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, it's a little different than the original.
It
it
is.
not?
You're right. It is
Like,
a
yeah,
little different. Yeah.
and- yeah.
It's
and
more
I-
improved. The Super Nintendo's musical capabilities are much
Yeah.
Right.
improved from the NES.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
but we'll just put it there for now.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'll
sure.
I'll accept that.
Luke, I know you've played Link's Awakening on Game Boy. You haven't finished it.
No, I'm not that far into
Have you
it.
played the Game Boy version?
I never got the Game Boy version as
But
a
you
kid,
played
but I've played
the
the remake. Yeah.
So
Love it.
You love it.
Absolutely love it.
Tell me why.
I think for me, because I miss early ones, it felt like I got to experience a little bit of
yeah.
kind of the earlier original Zelda kind of layout.
Yeah. The
Just
remake really keeps that feel.
that's what it kind of felt like. I didn't want to seem like it's obviously not the exact same as when you play the original, but
Definitely
it was just so much fun. Like, it was a little more, I think for me, I get a little bit too emotional with games. So like when a game is very serious or like the music is really intense, like
It is
sometimes
locked
I'm a little, it affects the way that I'm like invested.
Yeah.
And even though the Link's Awakening has its serious parts, it was this really good balance of like kind of lighthearted because of
Absolutely.
how it appears, and he's like kind of bubbly, and I mean the remake makes him look a little more like a toy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but also having that idea of like that he's living in this, spoiler alert, he's living, in this dream-like state, and what's real, what's actually going to end, is this thing real,
Right.
the windfish. It was just like
Yeah.
this really cool balance of seeing something a little more like childish,
Yeah.
but also carry like a really cool idea for a game to
for
take
sure.
place in probably like, a dream's length
Which
of
is
time.
what Zelda's all about.
Yeah.
It is simultaneously the most lighthearted and whimsical of all the games, and one of the darkest and like
Yeah.
Absolutely.
saddest stories.
Yeah, and they're all like, "Oh, am I never gonna see? Like, I'm never gonna see you again." And some people are
Yeah.
aware of it, and some people aren't. In the
Right.
town, they're like, "If you wake that, like, we're all dying. Like,
Yeah.
we're all gone."
And he makes all these relationships,
Yeah.
and the only way that he can save himself is to
End it.
destroy the world, and it's kind of the reverse of every other Zelda game,
Right.
which is just so tragic.
Yeah. And then they tease you with it flying away when he's,
Yes.
awake over the whatever broken ship as he's in
Right.
the water, and you're like, "Wait, what the hell? Like, what the heck is that gonna be
Yeah.
about?"
So
Loved it.
The remake is cool because those kind of anime intro and outro, they made those were brand new, and they're modeled after the original, like, what is it called? Commercials for the game.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, really?
And so there's two versions of this game. I just put DX because that's the real version.
Right.
It's the Game Boy Color version.
Okay.
But it's got color, it's got stills, it's got like tiny little cutscenes and stuff. But the fact that they took a game that is almost as good as Link's Awakening and put it on the freaking Game Boy, like in the 80s, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a feat of technology, and it was like for a game, it's the best Game Boy game. Like,
Yeah.
It's pretty close. you
Yeah.
know?
I think it's up there with like the best of the Game Boy's
Yeah,
games,
for sure,
ever.
For sure.
I would put it on A.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right.
Excellent game.
Next.
Yeah, I mean, this.
Wait, is that Ocarina?
Ocarina.
Oh, yeah.
Is anyone gonna argue with that?
No.
Ocarina is the best video game ever made. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I mean, talk about
it's-
that.
It's
It's
the
your
most.
favorite game.
Yeah, it's a perfect game. Like,
Yeah.
especially for what they did with the for the time, and like going 3D.
No
Now, granted,
way.
Mario 64 was out first, right? So we had seen like the 3D world before, right?
Yes, Mario came
Right.
out first.
But then, like, just the control improvements,
Mhm.
even in Ocarina, like, it still controls
Absolutely.
well. You can still give it to someone who's never played a 64 game,
Yeah.
and they can quickly figure out
It's
how to
very
control the
intuitive.
game.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got some of the best dungeons in it out of all Zelda games. Like I said
agree.
last week, on last week.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did a top 10 list, 2 or 3 of them would be in the top 5. Like the
Yeah.
dungeons in this game are amazing. The story in this game is amazing. Just like you were saying, it's fun and whimsical, but at the same time, it's
Very dark.
So sad and it's so dark.
And kind of
even,
overtly dark
Even
sometimes.
the way that it ends, is
Oh, yeah.
is Link Link
kinda
missed out on
heartbreaking.
his childhood,
Yeah.
right? And to save the world.
Yeah.
And then it ends, and instead of him going back to all of his friends, he has to leave.
He's
to
just
pre-
alone.
to prevent the destruction of the world. So
Yeah.
he goes off by himself
In a
So,
forest
like,
on his horse.
I mean, it's a
Yeah,
great
seriously.
story. Yeah, exactly. It's a great story. The
It's
gameplay
so
is great.
epic.
Like,
It's,
yeah,
it's one of
the-
the only Zelda games, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This one, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild have the most epic overtones of like, little boy has to take on
Sure.
this big evil to save the world. It's almost Star Warsy.
It's-
Sure.
the best soundtrack, right?
Probably.
I would say up there, top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if it's not one, it's
I
two.
There's
Like,
one that I'm obsessed with soundtrack more than any other game, but Ocarina's
Sure,
very
yeah.
high up there.
Yeah, there's another soundtrack, and I'll mention it when we get there, that I think
Mhm.
I've listened to more. I think it's easier to listen to
Sure.
than Ocarina is. But during gameplay, Ocarina just takes it.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's just
the
banger
soundtrack's
after
amazing.
banger,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And, like,
Hyrule Field, Blur of Fire.
What year did Ocarina come out?
City. I think 96.
96.
Yeah.
All the extra things that you can do in that game, the side quests and the steps that
Yeah.
it takes to get the Goron sword,
Yeah.
or just, I don't know, all the little things of collecting the, I'm forgetting what they're called.
The Skulltulas?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Skulltulas, that whole family, like that was the
yeah.
dark.
The Rumble Pack integration into this game
Yes.
is so cool. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just like walking in a field, and then you're like, oh shoot,
Oh, yeah.
there's something there.
I
Like,
so-
the different ways to open the holes in the ground,
Sure.
whether it's the bomb or the Song of Storms, or
Mhm.
there's all sorts of different and you think you know it, but then for some reason you can't figure out how to open
Dude,
one.
there's
And then you
some
try
to-
something you've
to
never.
this
You
day I
dump a
can't
fish
figure
on the
out.
ground.
Oh, yeah.
And then a hole opens. And
I
you're
didn't know
what the
that.
frick?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
seriously, I didn't know either.
Did you play it on 64?
So Ocarina was the first Zelda game that made me want to play Zelda, like all the games, because
Oh, wow.
I never played a Zelda game until I played Ocarina,
Okay.
and it was the DS remake, like
Oh,
3DS.
really?
I was like
Wow.
13.
Oh, okay.
I was like 13 or 14, and I just never had a Zelda game. I don't know. I was like a homeschooled kid. My parents were like, I don't know, we're not gonna get you that game, and I was like, okay. Like, I didn't know anything about Zelda.
Sure.
Got it at 13 or 14, and I was literally like my mind was blown.
Yeah.
And from that point on, for like 10 years now, I've been
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, well,
obsessed with playing Zelda games.
People are rediscovering that game. It's
Yeah.
also been remastered and remade more than any other Zelda game. It's on probably more consoles than
Well, it's been
most other Zelda games.
remastered once.
No, well,
It's been
remastered,
ported a whole
sure,
bunch
but
of
times.
they've,
right.
they've changed some things with the ports.
Yeah.
And when they
Little
ported it to
things.
GameCube, they added Master
That
Quest.
doesn't count.
And
Not as a remaster.
no, I'm not saying
Master
it,
Quest counts.
I'm not saying it's a remaster, but I'm saying
Okay.
it's being ported. Like, it's been
Right.
ported more.
Yeah.
It's on and
Re-released
they constantly re-release this game.
Yeah.
It still does great.
Absolutely.
Because it's such a great game, and even
Yeah.
people who didn't experience it on the 64 still pick it up to this day, and they're like, "This is one of the greatest games ever made."
Yeah,
Like, this,
absolutely.
it's not a nostalgia-driven
And
argument.
It obviously looked good for its time, but to be, in like 2012 or whatever when I was playing it, and literally be like, I don't care that it's not even the coolest looking game, that like the actual game itself exceeds the rest, that you're like, this is just one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
I think it just speaks so
It's
highly
just
to
like,
the game itself.
It's adventure. It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Well, from the time you wake up, you wake up and the Deku Tree's called you, so you go and you can't get through, and then you have to go find rupees to buy your shield, and then you
Yeah.
have to go explore, and,
Yeah.
and then you find
It's
your
just
sword,
immediate,
and,
like, figuring
such
out how
the
to
coolest
get through the
way,
whole
and
game.
that's all an
And then
intro.
you
Yeah.
go to the Deku Tree, and then you find out you have to go inside, and you think you're rescuing him, and then you get out and he dies, and like right before he dies, he sends you on a mission.
Yeah.
And, like, you can tell him you're not gonna do it, and he's basically just like, then we're all doomed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like even he's like, you have to do this.
I'm
kind
gonna
of
be
thing.
honest.
Like,
I've played this game maybe 15 times. I've never clicked the no option.
Me neither.
I don't have the heart.
I was way too goody to ever say no to those things just to see what he said.
Totally.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, I actually remember when I started playing it, like for my first real playthrough, you told me, you were like, never say no in this game.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, what? Why?
That's
So
funny.
I said no
Yeah.
a lot. Because I was like, no.
I remember being scared of the game because of when you're adult Link or whatever, and you're going to
The
broken
zombies.
down, the freaking things that like eat your head.
Yeah.
The
Like,
Red Deads.
that's
Yeah.
like, that is horrifying. And
They
you were
are.
saying earlier, it still has that balance of like, there is some fun and joy to it, especially as a kid going to Hyrule and everyone's dancing and moving around.
Well,
and
think about that message. Like, when you're a kid, the world is amazing and beautiful, and then you grow up.
Yeah.
literally, yeah. It's so true. Yeah, excellent game. One of the
Yeah.
best of all time. So
Solid.
S tier, I think it
No problem.
is. Yeah, easy.
I have a feeling that won't move for at least until right now.
No,
Majora's
no.
Mask.
No.
Put it down.
Not S.
Move it.
I'll,
So Majora's Mask for me, not to like cut anybody
No,
off,
go for it.
is where I have to realize that I suck a little because I haven't been able to
have
beat
video
it.
games.
Yeah, I
Enough.
honestly, like, when I first tried to play it, I was so stressed about how to figure it out to not die from the moon
Yeah.
that it already had this just stressful like taste in my mouth of like,
That's
oh, this is just so intense, and how do I do it? So
Yeah.
I've gotten very close recently, but I never beat it as a kid. But everyone I've known has always said it's one of their best Zelda games they've ever played, and
Absolutely.
I'm open to more like opinions on that because
Is
for me it was
the
always
3DS
just
the
this.
one you played?
I played it once on the Game Boy, or I'm sorry, on a GameCube,
Okay.
and then I got it on the 3DS more recently. That's when I
Gotcha.
just started replaying it actually. Yeah. So what makes you think it's S tier?
You haven't even played it.
Yes, I have. I haven't beat it.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
haven't.
haven't
beat
beat
it.
it.
Yeah, so I made the classic mistake of like
Oh,
starting
you
the
got to the
temple,
water temple.
and then I stopped halfway through the water temple,
Oh
and then
my.
once you stop in the
That's
middle
for
of the
sure the
temple,
worst
it's
temple
like
to
you
stop
It's so hard to
just
turn it back on.
restart your save,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know. So, I love Majora's Mask. I think people now. So again, I don't think I can like talk about it that fairly because I haven't beat it. I haven't done like the climax of the story yet, you know. But like as it stands now, I just can't. And the time mechanic. I don't like the time mechanic.
Yeah.
The 3 days, I don't like it at all.
I get it. It's like a unique way to put a twist on a game, and it's definitely
Sure,
the most
yeah.
unique. I think it's one of the weirdest Zelda games for that reason.
For sure.
But I also like selfishly just hate it because I'm like, oh, that's just so hard
What about
to.
the time mechanic frustrates you?
I don't.
Like, that
I
is
don't.
stressful?
For me, yeah,
I
it's
want
just
to like when I play a Zelda game. I don't want to like feel rushed. I want to just like explore and do
because
my
we're talking about the
thing
adventure
just,
and the
like,
openness.
you know, like,
it's very
just
opposite.
kind of like Zelda games are very relaxing for me most of the time, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this one is just not relaxing. It feels like I can't stop and look at something. I've just got to like go and I've got to do stuff and
Well-
like and I mean there are ways to like you know the song of not double time
Slow time.
where you play the song time in reverse to slow it down like that definitely helps.
A lot. It
But-
takes it from 15 minutes to 30 minutes.
Right, but do you ever even find out about that?
Yeah.
Like someone tells you about it? I think someone just told me about it like when I started playing it.
I probably did because
Yeah.
if you know those from the beginning, they work from the beginning.
Oh, you can
Right.
play them at any point.
Yeah, you don't have to learn them from anybody.
Yeah, but
you
but
don't
even
you
still
don't learn
like
it from anyone. You find a clue from like an
Oh,
owl
okay.
statue or something.
Right. But even like I also don't like the save points in the game. Like with having to like get to an owl to save is just I like Ocarina. You just save literally anywhere.
Right.
Well, yeah, but because of the time mechanic, that would kind of break it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
true.
know. I just like I think that takes away from what I want out of a Zelda game. Not
Yeah.
to say that it's not a good game. Like
Sure.
yeah,
Right.
I understand. It's a great game. Like the what's the snow area called? Snowhead is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask is probably like my third favorite soundtrack too. The soundtrack in this game is amazing.
Yeah.
All the songs that you play on your ocarina are
Well,
great.
Terminate
Field is such a good
It's like
song.
a dark version of the
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda theme, which we
Right.
didn't get at all in Ocarina.
Honestly, in my opinion,
Yeah.
I think the official timeline also hurts this game for me a little bit.
Don't worry
Like
about it.
I mean,
What are you
but
saying?
it does. So
The official
released
timeline is
Nintendo released an official timeline, which confirms that basically all of these games happen with it. Well, it's within like a few different timelines.
Oh, right,
But
there's,
they
like, the
they all
outcome of if
happen,
Link
and they all
stayed-
happen at different times and
Right.
everything. And like at first when the timeline dropped, I was all excited. I was like, "Oh yeah, cool! Like we're gonna like learn how this works and everything." And I was talking to someone about it, and he was like, he was saying how he didn't like the timeline at all. And I was like, "What? That doesn't make any sense." He was
Right.
like, "Well, I always like took the Zelda games as like the retelling of this of like a legend, you know, and how there's the same type of legend in almost every culture, but it's vastly different, but it has the same types of like the same story points, the same
Sure.
like type of thing, right? And like that's how he said he always took like all the Zelda games, and that seeing that they were in some kind of timeline like hurt it for him. And I think Nintendo kind of saw that, which is why they just reset it with Breath of the Wild. They were just like reset like Breath of the Wild is the end of everything. All three timelines converge on this, so now we can kind of like do whatever we want or go in a linear story.
Okay.
But I don't think these games were ever intended to be a linear story or anything or anything even kind of like that. So,
Sure.
Have you ever heard about the like? Did you ever watch the game theory on Majora's Mask?
Yeah.
About how Link is dead the whole time
Right.
and everything. You know, like that was something that I feel like before the timeline we could do with the Zelda games. Like we could theorize about them. We could theorize why. Like you know, like the sunken Hyrule and Wind Waker. Like
Right.
we could theorize about it and we could talk about it. And now it's like in a timeline, and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense then. Like, how does Link fall through a pit and then end up in a new world? Like, you know, kind of thing. It's like, it's just stuff like that that sure we can ignore the timeline, but Nintendo did come in and put their official stamp of approval on
Yeah,
this
but they
timeline,
only did it
and, like,
because people were begging them to. I am of the mind that these games were never designed to be part of a single timeline.
yeah, I totally agree.
So
100%.
ignore the timeline. It doesn't
I think
matter.
they made it work as best as they could.
Totally.
And
yeah.
I do think they had a mindset of saying this is in the I guess the reality of Link stayed as a kid, and this is what happened if he stays an adult. Like I think they even thought that would make sense, and it does for a little bit. But yeah, there are definitely tons of little holes where you can't quite fill it. But
well, so going back to the day mechanic, you have like 30 minutes per day, and then it's 3 days. It's an hour and a half. It's really not that pressing. And so I feel like feeling worried about it is the wrong way to look at it, because you can reset the days.
Right, but at what point do you have to redo temples?
Only after you finish them.
Right, so let's say I finish the first temple and the second temple and the third temple.
The only time you have to do it is if you are doing a side quest that requires, because when you finish the temple and beat the boss, it oftentimes changes the whole area. So like in Snowhead, all the ice melts.
Right.
And then in the swamp, all the water gets cleared and stuff.
I don't want to have to like go like so. I have an hour and a half to like go beat the temple. I go beat the temple, I save, and then I want to go do all the side quests.
Yeah.
But I didn't do something 3 days ago that I was required to do. So then I have to go back, and then I have to do that thing, and then I have to beat the temple again, and then I have to do that. It's like, it's just.
Yeah, I guess if you don't like redoing bosses, but people love redoing bosses. So
yeah, I don't know. For me, it takes away from the game.
Yeah.
I understand why people like it. Sorry, go ahead.
So for me,
I'm just kidding.
I like the nature of the 3 days, and I understand why they had to make some compromises, and there are going to be some things that are frustrating because of that. But what it allows them to do is, instead of NPCs walking in the same route that they do until you encounter them so you can do their quest, they all have their own individual lives, and they live out those 3 days in a way that they couldn't do if there wasn't a 3-day clock,
Yeah.
Sure, I think that it could just be done by like day 1, day 2, day 3, and allowing you to freely go back within those days without an actual real-time clock that you will just
like
straight up
the day
lose
is done
the game.
once you finished your final part of that.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Like you.
Well,
have
you're never in
like,
danger of
like
actually losing
say you
the
have,
game.
You have a sleep mechanic or whatever. Like you go to sleep and then you go to the next day, and then you use the song time to travel back or whatever. I think there's just a better way to do it personally.
Not on the 64.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But like as of now,
Well, they're not going to redesign it.
Yeah,
That's going to make everybody mad. I was getting so triggered with all your suggestions right now. You have no idea.
Oh my gosh. or if they had a mode that you could go in when they remaster it for Switch, which is coming this fall, please. If they had a mode that you could turn on, you could even call it
an easy mode.
Easy mode. Like I don't care. Like yeah, go for it. Call it easy mode. The game would be easier. But there's a reason that virtually no other games use the same type of mechanic, and that Zelda has never gone back to it.
It's because it's unique. It's very unique. And I think that uniqueness adds a lot of charm to the game. You can disagree. That's fine.
There's nothing like Majora's Mask of all the other games.
Absolutely.
I think I would personally put it at like A or S for its uniqueness. Even though personally I have my issues with it, it's still an incredible game.
The side quests in this game, bar none, better than any side quest in a Zelda game. Yeah, dude, the couples mask, the way you get that over the course of the 3 days and doing all of these intricate little things and like help, and then it's like so heartbreaking, their story, and then like just Skull Kid's whole story. And
Skull Kid's one of the coolest villains I think of all the Zelda games.
Yeah, definitely. And
misunderstood.
Just like getting the masks in this game is so satisfying, and like getting the bomb mask and going in the shop late at night and getting the frog mask from the Goron that's frozen. You got to feed him rocks, and you got to like there's so many cool intricate like side quests in this game that are so unique, and they're all like so nihilistic, like so hopeless, so because everybody knows the world is ending and there's nothing you can do about it, and that perspective and watching people go from denial to anger, bargaining, and just acceptance that like you see people on the last day just laying in their beds like basically dead inside because they know there's nothing they can do. Like the postman, you know, he's got to deliver the mail, but then he finally realizes like he's been working his whole life and has nothing to show for it. It's like there's some really deep like themes in this game.
I think top of
just
A,
like stylistically, I love this game. Also, this has been open the whole time. Thanks, Luke.
no problem.
Top of A.
Yeah, I think top of A.
I'm fine with that. I would say bottom of S, but top of A is fine.
Yeah.
Just for me, there's such a like.
Yeah, I get it. You hate the game. It's fine.
Yeah, I hate it. That's why I wanted an A tier. No, I just think there is a solid difference between Majora's Mask and Ocarina and replayability and like.
I agree with replayability. It takes a bit of work to want to, I think, replay that game.
That's funny. I think Majora's Mask is like so replayable, but
that's fair. I get it. You're crazy.
Yeah, I guess
kidding.
maybe I'm the crazy one.
No, you're not.
So then we have the Oracle games, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. We might as well just rate these together because they're pretty much like they were designed at the same time.
Yeah.
They integrate.
Now these are linear, right? In story, like are these back to back?
No,
they're not.
Well, the games are linear in and of themselves, but they're interchangeable. So you can play Oracle of Ages and then Seasons, or you can play Seasons and Ages.
Okay.
And it gives you a code at the end of the game, and if you put that into your Game Boy, it will know.
That's so
yeah,
cool.
Oh, wow. It's super cool.
Know that.
So this is the first time they ever did a dual release Pokemon style. It was on the Game Boy, same developers as Link's Awakening, and it has that same style, same charm, and that's why I really want remakes of these specifically.
I never played the Oracle ones.
Yeah,
I always wished that I did.
Most people didn't. And especially because you kind of have to get both of them, and like getting the old Game Boy cartridges are like $80 each. Yeah. Like having the hardware and all that stuff, and then actually playing on a Game Boy is terrible.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's why I mod my Game Boys and make them fancy. But they're so much fun. Have you played these, Luke? Yeah. I think I would say. What's this one? Is that Link's Awakening?
Yeah.
Link's Awakening.
I think top of B.
Top of B
is where I'd put these. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't want to spoil anything for you guys.
I do want to play it at some point in my life.
Yeah.
I just can't get myself to buy one.
The mechanics are cool. So Oracle of Ages has time travel. And then Oracle of Seasons has season travel. You don't travel throughout it. You change the seasons. Right. You get a wand that changes the seasons.
Oh, cool.
And based on all 4 seasons, there are different things that happen. So trees grow and get cut down, and snow, and then ice freezes the water. So you have to get to a certain cave.
Yeah,
so
it sounds super fun.
It's super cool. It turns every square of the map into a puzzle. It's really neat how that works.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so top of B for those. So this is Link to the Past / Four Swords Adventures. Did either of you play Four Swords? Not Four Swords Adventures, just Four Swords. I haven't played this either. So
I played Toon Link in Smash Bros. And he wears the color of the Four Swords guy.
Yeah, totally. Just like
top of S.
So what do you think?
Yeah, top of S.
I think just on principle, it has to go right there.
Yeah,
it's Link to the Past and more.
Sure.
So even if the game's terrible,
fair enough,
it's still got Link to the Past. Wind Waker.
Yeah, I'd say S or it would, for me it beats Majora's.
We can split it
right there.
No. Well, okay. I guess I can't really rate Link to the Past, but
Wind Waker is.
I don't know if it's better than Link to the Past. Yeah, I think it's not better than Link to the Past.
Okay, that's again I can't really dispute that.
I think it definitely belongs in S tier.
I'm more likely to pick Wind Waker up than Link to the Past, but that doesn't.
You wouldn't put it over Ocarina, would you?
No.
Would you?
No.
Yeah. Are we cool with it there?
Yeah. So Wind Waker is the soundtrack that I said. I listened to Wind Waker probably more than any other soundtrack. I love the Wind Waker soundtrack.
Wind Waker is a beautiful soundtrack.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
It's a GameCube game in 480p, and to this day I look at it and I'm like,
so cool.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I hate Toon Link. I hate him. in every game he's in Smash, in Wind Waker, in his dumb little DS games. I hate him so much, but I love this game.
I can agree with that.
For the longest time, I didn't play it because of the art style. I
Really?
just couldn't stand it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's not uncommon.
No,
There's a lot of people. The art style was pretty controversial
game,
when it released.
like,
I feel
didn't
like
even
now
sell well.
It's pretty
because
well liked.
yeah, no, now it's definitely.
So Wind
now.
Waker was kind of the response to how like dark Majora's Mask was, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we kind of like that game
kinda
was
took a
really
risk
dark,
there.
and then they just went all the way to the other side of the
Yeah.
pendulum, and
Yeah.
that's kind of why
Literally
we got
made
Wind
it a
Waker.
cartoon.
Yeah,
Which the art style, I love everything except for
sure.
Link.
Just not
Yeah,
the same.
don't
other
like Link.
people, even other characters, I think have a cool look to them.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like what's Medley or
Tetra.
no the bird girl.
Oh,
The-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I know who
I
you're
think it
talking
is
about.
Medley.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
retail in
and,
this
like,
game
I don't
looks
know.
sweet.
So I
Yeah.
haven't played the HD remake of it. I've just played the GameCube.
Have you played the
version.
HD?
No, I never. I think is it only on Wii U?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got the Wii U. I had a Wii and I got a GameCube controller and bought that
Oh,
after
cool.
I finished Ocarina of Time.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep.
Oh, you
So
just
this
went-
was your this was your
Nice.
second Zelda.
This is the second one I played.
Good choice.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I just loved it. It was actually very hard for me. There was a couple dungeons right nearing the end of the game.
Okay.
It's like you've already like come back to Ganon's prison or you know wherever, and you find out who Tetra is. I got the Master Sword, and there was like another dungeon where you're with the ghosts of some people that helped you or something like that. And at that point, I mean, this was years ago. I ended up just rolling into playing multiple Zelda games, so I never
Yeah.
beat Wind Waker all the way.
Yeah.
But I kind of studied up all the game's endings, so I knew what would happen, and I think they still wanted to be a bit of a dark twist just to finish the game with how
Yeah.
he beats Ganon. But
Dude,
Oh yeah, for real.
that's so epic
Yeah.
it is very
and
nice.
so satisfying.
I
Yeah.
think one of my complaints about Wind Waker is that the temples are a little forgettable.
These are
Yes.
out of the
Like,
3D Zeldas, they're probably the worst temples.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, the final like go to fight Ganon is memorable. Like
Yeah.
that's super cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
Is
everything
that's
other
where the
than
King of
that-
Red Lions drops you off underneath the tunnel and you have to climb. It's like a tower.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a super cool
Right.
temple.
Now, so what
And
I was gonna say.
Under the water. That's pretty
Right,
sweet.
yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm talking about. When you go underwater to
Oh,
fight
yeah.
Ganon,
Yeah.
that's super cool.
Super
Yeah.
cool.
The HD remake. So the HD remake, they changed like the Triforce shards, I guess. So like instead of having to find 8 of them, you had to. They
don't think so.
Yeah, they changed something about that. I forget exactly what it is. I know for a fact they did.
Yeah,
because
they
people,
didn't change the Triforce shards. There's still 8 of them.
They changed something.
They did change them. They changed a lot. They changed. Isn't there a tingle thing in this game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They changed that.
Oh.
Okay.
And all the statues you collect or something, they changed how you do that. They gave you a sail that makes you go faster,
Right.
which is amazing.
I bet.
And it changes the wind direction, so you can just
Right.
Go.
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's sweet. But
Do you have to find that, or do you just get that?
you have to earn it.
Okay.
Yeah. But there was some kind of, they put Wii U stamps in it, and I think that replaced something that people didn't
okay.
like.
Oh, okay.
Well, there was something specific that everyone liked. I don't remember what it is, but I remember hearing it and preferring it the other way. I thought it had to do with the Triforce shards, but
Mm-mm.
maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
great game.
The sailing is awesome.
One of the best
Going
Zelda
island
games.
to island. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Fishing is super cool.
Just
Yes.
the random islands you
The
can find, or
Random
like treasure
islands.
chests in the sea. and,
The ice and fire arrows in this game
yeah.
are
Yeah.
so cool. How
They're
you
sweet.
get them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I this is like the first time we see Koroks.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
So they're the Kokiri
Right.
that they're like forest spirits basically.
Right.
Is
Right.
what the Kokiri are.
Yeah.
And then when they returned to the Deku tree, they became the Koroks.
right.
So
That's right.
super cool.
I love the.
I hate
so
the Deku tree in this game.
the.
Oh, me too.
He's so goofy looking.
We
Yeah.
have the glider in this game too.
Yeah, the glider's sweet.
You know,
it uses
like-
your magic though, which is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It shouldn't use magic. should have a stamina bar.
Well, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, a stamina bar. I mean, that's virtually what the magic bar was for it.
No, you use the magic for magic.
Well, it was magical.
Well,
It was a leaf.
I mean, sure.
Kirk, it was a leaf.
All right, fine.
Go
but
get a leaf.
I'm saying mechanically.
It was a
shouldn't-
big leaf.
it was a big
That's
leap.
true. Go get a big leaf and try and glide somewhere with it. Like it was a
enough.
magical
Fair.
leaf. Like,
Touche.
Yeah, solid
Yeah.
game.
I think anywhere on S tier is cool with me for that. Excellent
Same.
game.
Master Quest.
Never played it.
Me neither. It's all you, Luke.
D.
Actually, I got to the Deku tree and I was like,
Really?
yeah.
So-
What's this game like?
It's totally
I
different.
haven't beat Master Quest.
It's Ocarina.
I think I got all the
Oh.
way through the Water Temple. So it's Ocarina, but there's more content, and I don't think it's necessarily harder, but
Yes, it's
it
definitely harder.
it is harder. Okay.
Yeah.
But they flip the world over.
Oh, is it like mirrored?
Yeah.
I
So
have heard of this game.
instead of going right, you go left, and that I don't like that at all.
It just makes it
Yeah.
unfamiliar.
yeah, and
To add a
Did
making
challenge.
3DS
making it-
Remake give you the option to mirror it and do it in Master Quest once
Yes.
you beat
Oh,
it?
I don't know- I
I
didn't
started
know
Master
that.
Quest
Yeah.
on the
Okay.
Okay, I did start this.
You knew Master Quest was on 3DS.
No, I did know it was on. He said, did it give you the option to?
It
to
gave you the
mirror
option
or-
to do
Once
Master
you beat
Quest.
Ocarina of Time on your
Oh,
DS,
okay.
it
I
then
see what you're
opens
saying.
up to
I thought
play
you were
Master
saying
Quest.
it gave you the option to play the mirrored world or the regular one.
Gotcha.
I don't like the mirrored world at all.
Yeah.
That's
like it's
that's because
just
you
like,
played it so many times.
Well,
I think,
right, but
if
it's-
you played it once and then play it again, it makes it unfamiliar enough to where it's a little challenging because of that.
I guess
No,
I don't
I mean,
get the point of that.
like it's to make
It
it
just-
more difficult.
You have to think
without
about it
like
differently.
adding
Yeah.
anything to it. You know, I don't know. It's
Maybe
like,
maybe it's dumb. I don't know.
I mean, I've played it. I don't like it. Like I don't. Everything else about Master Quest is awesome, but like that
Really?
mechanic specifically is frustrating.
So is it better than Ocarina?
No, I don't think so.
So,
Well, see, that's so
It's
difficult for me,
Ocarina on
though,
steroids.
because I like if you played Master Quest for the first time, yeah, it's probably better than Ocarina. Like it's got extra content. It's more challenging than Ocarina.
wouldn't know that it's
like,
mirrored.
and you wouldn't know that it's mirrored. And then if you went back to Ocarina, you'd be like, why would I play this game? Like I'm just gonna play Master Quest. But because I played Ocarina first, like I prefer to play Ocarina because of
I
how
think
much
playing
I
Master
dislike
Quest
the
first would
mirrored
be the
world.
wrong choice because of how much harder it is.
Probably.
I don't remember it being that much harder.
Well, you're
Um,
like stupid good at
I
this.
mean, it is
Fair
you
enough.
know like Master Quest, Master and
Yeah.
mirrored.
yeah,
So
that's
you're
the point.
when you play that
Yeah.
on Breath of the Wild, you can play into Master mode and it's way harder. I mean,
I feel like I personally would put it right below Majora's Mask.
That much down from Ocarina?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think I agree because you have the best that it is with Ocarina. It's
Yeah.
still just so incredible that
Totally.
hey, here's a harder version, a little more information, and it's mirrored. It doesn't hold the same value
Yeah.
in my mind.
Fair
But
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
still belongs
and
on
again,
A.
like if I go back to like this is the order of
We have
what
like
Zelda
15 more games.
I would put. Fair enough.
All right.
we'll go faster.
Minish Cap.
Haven't
Never
played.
played.
Okay.
D.
Classic.
I think this
Okay.
is. I gotta put it under Majora's Mask. Minish Cap's incredible. It's
I've heard good things.
it's the Wind Waker of handheld Zeldas. Like,
Mm.
the art style is gorgeous. The pixel art in this game is just so pretty. The story is really fun. It starts out at like a party in Hyrule. This is one of the only times we get to experience Hyrule Castle and the marketplace and the Hyrule town. You get that a little bit in Twilight Princess, but it's
You
so
get it in
drab
Ocarina.
looking that
Yeah.
it's boring. And you get it in Ocarina, but way more in Minish Cap. You go into all the houses and you get to talk to people and do missions for them. And
That would be so cool to play a more involved Hyrule
Yes.
game in
Yes.
Zelda.
I hope we get it. In
Hyrule's
Breath
the
of Wild,
center
too.
of Minish Cap. And the mechanic of shrinking in this game is super cool. Because
I didn't know that was a thing.
every map has like little areas that you can see. Oh, like if I was tiny, I could like go in there and there's like you can like crawl on top of buildings. But then like dogs get really scary.
Oh, yeah,
they like chase you and stuff. And then even like little baby chicks are like huge, and you're just like
That's
"Ah."
awesome.
Yeah. And so you ride little leaves down the river and
I would
things like
love
that.
a Link's Awakening style remake for this.
I disagree. I want it ported. Just straight
Really?
up.
You just want a straight port? You don't want a remake?
It's almost perfect. Like,
Wow.
yeah. Again, the art style
right.
is gorgeous. Like, make it widescreen. I'm down for that. HD it. Improve it a little bit, but I don't think it needs a remake.
Fair enough.
I think I just want it in the, how they have like NES, SNES 64. I just want Game Boy Advance. Put it on there.
Really?
I'd be happy with that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Solid game.
Cool.
Four Swords Adventures. You haven't played this.
I have not.
You haven't.
I know.
played
I
this.
started it. I did.
Oh, you did
I got
start
about halfway through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I liked it. I think that was kind of in my beginning of like Ocarina, Wind Waker. I think in the order, especially at the age I was at, I wasn't really intrigued by going to a much older feel.
Yeah. Did you play it by yourself?
Mm-hmm. And so I was like, it's cool. I can see where this would be fun, but I just didn't love it. But I had nothing wrong with it. I didn't mind it, but
so I
never
played it
finished
with my buddy Andrew, and we had our SPs plugged into the thing. So you like come down from the screen onto your Game Boy and play and do things. Anytime you go inside a building or a cave, it switches to your SP.
Oh wow!
And then you can kind of like see what they're doing, and it's kind of a competition, not really, but like whoever gets more rubies at the end wins. It means nothing, but each level is like that. And it's really fun, but it's not how I like my Zelda games,
Sure.
It just feels weird. It feels more like a party game, but it's still got like a serious
That's what I've always
story.
heard of Four Swords.
Yeah.
It's just like a party game, basically.
It's just strange. Like, I love the idea. And the multiplayer, they have a different multiplayer mode where it's just like arcade games.
Oh,
those
okay.
are really fun.
Okay.
But
That's what I thought Four Swords was
I think
for a long time.
I'd put Four Swords like
Would you put it in? You still put it in B?
probably here. Yeah, not C, because there is a game there, and I could play it on my own, and I probably will, just to say that I've finished it. But
Sure.
man, it's so hard to get 4 people with SPs,
for
to
real.
get together and play. So, Twilight Princess.
I haven't played Twilight Princess, so I'm going to request a spoiler-free review.
A spoiler-free review.
Yes, please.
I played a little over half of it. I was borrowing it, and I had to give it back. I thought it was incredible. It scared me in a cool way of like, this is, again, darker, freakier.
Super
characters just look weirder. Everything just carries that little tone of light that's just kind of it's like an overcast day where you're like, wow, this is just crazy. I watched my friends play it all the time. Got to play a bit of it myself. I would put it under A if it was me, because I think it's amazing. I still think there are more games in the rest of this list that deserve S. I think it was incredible. But I never got to finish it fully.
So are you saying like top of A, or where would you put it?
I would put it, personally, I'd put it by Majora's but better than Minish Cap.
I'll say top of A.
Top of A.
Yeah. This is this is hard.
Spoiler-free.
Yeah, this is hard. It's not it is by no means the best Zelda game, but it might be my favorite in terms of like this one feels like my Zelda game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like very personal to me.
Yeah.
See, that's how I felt about Wind Waker
this
for
was
a long time.
everything I wanted out of a Zelda game. And when I found out that it existed, I heard the title. I was like, Twilight Princess. What is that? A pony game? I'm not playing that.
Yeah.
It was Ocarina, but like cranked to 11.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And man, Link looks so cool.
Yeah, Link looks.
And
that's one of the coolest Links.
the Hylian shield looks neat, and the tutorial looking back is terrible. But at the time,
like the entry when you start in the
it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
it's really long.
That's actually part of the reason that I haven't played it yet, because I've done that twice. And
you have played it?
Yeah, I've started it
twice.
Yeah, I've started
and
it.
Finished the tutorial.
Yeah, I got all the way to where like you become Wolf Link.
Oh dang! Okay,
like, I got there twice.
That's kind of just past the tutorial.
Right, exactly. And so it's like going back to that just doesn't sound fun to me. I don't know.
So the Wolf Link mechanic
once we get it on Switch, I will play it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go out of my way to
I get you.
find an old console.
So if you got to Wolf Link, then you meet the guy who like talks to you up turning into that, right? That meets you in that realm to talk to you, the old like knight.
Yes. Yep.
Gotcha.
Knight?
Or maybe he's a skeleton.
Skullfos. Right?
Just Alphos, yeah.
Yeah. There's it's not a spoiler, but there's a game theory that is the original.
Yeah,
Link.
that's
it's
very
confirmed.
It's confirmed.
It is.
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, passing down what he's learned.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So the sword combat in this game is the best out of all of them.
Wow.
Like better than Breath of the Wild.
Better than Link's Adventure.
Yes.
They focused on sword combat.
What about the
in
crouch
that one?
They
jab
sure
and the
did.
standing jab?
What?
Oh, you're making fun of the.
For Link's Adventure
with the crouch.
Yeah.
and stab and
Totally.
stab.
I thought you're for sure. Gotcha. I understand.
It was a
Sorry,
good joke.
I'm done.
You just missed it.
No, correct. The way you put away your sword after you beat an enemy.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. I do it 150 times and never gets old.
Yeah, true.
And like, so it's on the Wii and you can use motion controls or you could just use a GameCube controller. Both feel great in my opinion. But the sword combat is really well designed around the Wii remote. And so there's this move where you roll to the side and then jump. So you do that with the controllers and he rolls and jumps with his sword in the air and stabs him down. And there's just so many cool, like, do this combination and Link will do this move. And it feels really good because of that. You're not just, like, making up your own combos like in Breath of the Wild, you know?
Right.
So there's, like, all these moves you learn from this Alphos guy.
Right.
Yeah.
The Wolf Link mechanic is amazing. Unfortunately, some of the worst levels in this game are because of Wolf Link.
Sure.
But it's just cool. Once you're free to switch between them, it's fun. When you're locked into Wolf Link, it really sucks.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm definitely like, I'm
Epic
excited
story.
to play it. I look forward to when I do play it. It's just I'm gonna
one
wait
of the
for it on
only ones
Switch.
without Ganon, which is those are the ones that I like. You
no
know,
Ganon? F tier.
F tier, yeah. But I like it when it's a different. So Zant is the enemy in this one,
Right.
and he's so spooky.
Sure.
Yeah, he's weird.
Zant is the enemy in this one?
Yeah,
And Ganon.
Zant.
Yeah.
Ganon's not in it.
Twilight Princess?
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
spoilers.
Oh. I'm
I
like,
tried,
dude, what are
Luke.
you talking
I
about?
tried.
Dang it.
Oh, well.
You are very good.
So now that we've said that, Ganon in this game is amazing.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. In
I
your
was like,
defense,
what are you-
It's what, like a 10-year-old
It-
game?
it-
You know?
yeah,
so,
that's fair.
Like, it is my fault.
Oh, that's so funny.
Spirit Craps. I mean tracks.
That's
Spirit
Phantom
Tracks.
Hourglass.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's the first one.
No
Phantom
commentary.
Hourglass. Have you played it?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it. I
Tell
don't
me
know
why.
I don't know why. I played it. I turned it on. I started playing. I don't know.
How far did you get?
I got probably. I may have beaten that one. It was a long time ago.
Oh, you
or
might
I
have beaten it?
Or it was close to.
Okay.
But it was sadly like, you know, I'm not always. I love Zelda, but it was one of those games where I stopped playing because I didn't want to keep playing.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I literally just kind of got bored.
I
of
had
it.
the same exact experience.
Yeah.
I got to the second dungeon, and it doesn't feel like you're playing as Link. It feels like you're
No.
leading him, like
Yeah.
not controlling him. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just not. I don't know. I just
It
didn't.
wasn't
have
very
fun with
smooth.
it.
I don't know. I just.
It was kind of gimmicky.
Uh-huh,
You know, just
uh-huh.
like the drawing on the DS.
Yeah.
So, but you love this game.
I haven't played Phantom Hourglass. I've played and beat Spirit Tracks. But
Oh,
I
you haven't played
Phantom Hourglass.
I've
No.
heard it's the better of the two. So if that
Mm.
matters, but so you haven't played this? So
See.
Yeah, so I've played Spirit Tracks
Yeah.
and beat it. There was a lot of stuff that I liked about it. I liked the gimmick. I liked the drawing. I liked how you control Toon Zelda in this game. I don't know if it's the same as Phantom Hourglass.
I don't think Toon Zelda's in Phantom Hourglass.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Well, so in anyone care if I talk it? You guys
Absolutely
like
not.
getting ready to go play? Okay,
No.
cool. So Zelda
This might be fun on a computer actually with an emulator.
Oh,
yeah.
probably. Zelda is your companion in this one. And for some reason, I don't remember which, Zelda is, she's
She's a ghost,
she's
right?
a ghost,
Yeah.
a spirit, you know. And
Oh.
you use Zelda to control the big, I think they're phantoms, right? The
Yeah.
big metal guys,
Yeah.
you know, like.
I think I did know that.
Yeah. And that was just neat. That was a neat mechanic. It was cool to have Zelda as your companion,
Sure.
which was I thought was super cool. Instead of any fairies or whatever, it was Zelda. Like she was right there with you through the whole.
Is
whole
the
thing.
train cool?
No.
Bummer.
It's like I don't know.
Because don't you build the tracks?
Yeah, you like as you complete like temples, it makes the track go further, and then there's like interaction, and then you get like more carts or something on the train. Like
So it's
I don't
really
know,
linear.
yeah, and then you have like there's like interactions on the train. You have a cannon and you have to like shoot stuff, which was kind of fun.
Mini games.
No, it's not mini games. It's like part of the main like you have to do it. And like the cannon on the train was kind of cool. Just the idea of trains in Zelda though, I was never really like super sold on.
It modernizes it too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and then
stylistically.
like
I don't like his outfit either.
the instrument
The conductor outfit.
the instrument you get in this it's kind of cool. It's like one of those like I don't know if flute's the right term for it, but it's like the sticks,
they
short
get shorter.
and then to the
Yeah.
long, But to play it, you have to blow into your DS, which is kind of like it's kind of
Nice.
dumb.
So like DS Mario Party style.
There's
fun.
like there's the little microphone, and you have to go like. And
Yeah.
sometimes you don't blow hard enough, and then you play the wrong note, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this
And you
is
just
so annoying."
spit
Like,
all over your DS.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
That's so funny.
I think C tier, for sure. I don't know. I they're probably both interchangeable. I would say just the fact that if Zelda's not in Phantom Hourglass, then Spirit Tracks is better.
Then we have Ocarina 3D. Have you played this one, Luke? You have.
Yeah, I haven't beat it on 3D, but I've played it a good
I
amount.
think
That's the first one I played.
I would put it above Master Quest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's honestly
Okay.
that's the order that it came out for me.
They changed too much from the original. I love the graphic upgrades, but
it looks beautiful.
they made it easier. And they just changed some stuff that I just didn't care for.
Sure.
And the Sheikah stones are weird now, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's fine. I love it. It's honestly, even though I like it less, it's my preferred way to play Ocarina right now.
Now, what do you think of Ocarina again, but 3D? I'm just kidding.
Skyward Sword.
Okay,
Have you played this one?
this is my favorite Zelda game.
Thank God. I love this game.
Oh, you do?
Really?
Yeah.
This is the best Zelda game in my opinion. I think it's better than Breath of the Wild. I am
You think it's
obsessed.
better
not only is it your favorite,
Whoa!
you think it's the best Zelda game.
Yes. Well, that is
Wow.
matched with Ocarina of Time for me.
Wow.
So, it is the first ever story of Link,
yeah.
and it feels like it.
Totally.
I mean, the
100%.
the full story of. And
Have you
played
played
it too?
Skyward Sword?
I haven't finished it.
So
How far did you
spoiler,
get?
spoiler free.
Forest Temple.
Forest Temple? No! Oh man, I want to say
I
so much right now.
Hated playing on the Wii.
Okay.
I'll just say
I
the
am
best
a-
part of this game are the spoilers. The
I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
the story in
Oh
this
my
game
gosh.
is the best story in a Zelda game
Absolutely, 100%.
because it's crafted
Wow.
like one.
Yes.
It's one of the only Zeldas with a story.
I was so stoked when this got remastered for Switch because I'm left-handed. So I had to fight going like this.
Oh no!
I had to move my left hand over, and I beat the game.
Oh,
it was the
man.
hardest. I
That
can't
explains
tell
why
you.
you're so bad at guitar.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
I never
I
thought of
guess
that.
so. No.
No, but I mean, yeah, I wish I could say so much more, but it's beautiful. The music of this game is my favorite music. I'd say my top 3 favorite soundtracks. The Skyloft theme is just gorgeous. It puts in such a good
Dude,
mood.
Now, when I
theme
played
of
this
the
game,
Creating sky islands
So-
and having instead of sailing, but you're flying
Yes.
and just controlling your.
I love the
know-
flying.
you love-
People
I
hate the
know-
flying.
I love the
the
flying.
flying.
I know
It's
I only got to
awesome.
the Forest Temple, but I probably still put like 10 hours into this game, which
Sure.
was all flying.
Yeah.
Like I spent
It's
so much
fun.
Well,
time
because
doing
as
that.
soon
I
as
would
you get
fly
your
all
loft
the
wing,
way-
you can go to
I
all the
would fly
islands.
all the way
Absolutely.
up to the top and then jump off
Yeah.
and then go as far down as I could and call the
I was
loft
just about
wing
to spoil
again
something,
and,
but I
like,
can't respond to it.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do better this time. I will say though, no, I was kidding. The enemies in this game, the two main enemies, incredible.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I got you.
yeah.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Just the characters, the personalities of
Have
the
you
char-
not
of the
encountered
characters.
the big bad?
I don't remember.
You know, if he hasn't even finished the forest temple, then
Oh, yeah.
oh no, the temple, or just the forest like area.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
I,
it's not worth
I'm
risking
not
it.
sure
Oh,
because
I
I
wanna
played
say
it.
so
So I
much.
played it
So-
on Wii.
The forest temple in
And-
this game is one of the best temples.
100%.
In
I
the
think,
Zelda
of all
game.
Zelda, yeah. I
Um,
love the other temple in the fire area. The second one through.
the one with the like spider boss thing
Hmm.
with the roller guy.
No, the one where you can use a whip to grip onto the.
Yeah, is that the one where you run on the balls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that temple a lot too.
No, the
actually.
whip. The whip is you get that out of the forest temple.
No. You
It's
might
his favorite Zelda game.
you might
What's
get
the
it.
first forest? Because isn't there two?
You go to each place two different times,
Right.
and there's two different enemies or
What's
or
the-
quests. To
What's
each
the
time.
first? Oh yeah. So it's like the
I
flooded.
want to say.
Oh wait. So what?
No,
is
you
it-
know what? That is the forest second time through.
Yes.
Yes, you're
Okay,
right. Yep,
okay.
you are right.
Yeah.
Love that temple.
Where you like raise and lower the water
Mhm,
and
you're-
you swing
that's
on
the-
the.
Yep.
Yeah. Good temple.
Sorry, Luke.
Good
all good,
temple.
all
No,
good.
it is worth your time. And when they switch it to a controller, I just had so much more fun fighting without having to like turn my left hand into a right hand.
Oh, so you played? Do you play with pro
so
controller?
I switched it to pro because
Nice.
even if I did Joy-Cons, they still didn't do left-handed
That's
option.
so dumb.
Which is that what I thought was
Discrimination.
Oh my gosh,
we,
it's
we should
dis-
sue.
I will say left-handed
That
people.
is an accessibility thing. Like
Yeah, no,
I mean,
absolutely.
if I was truly a left-handed guitar player, I would probably have only found like a couple in Coeur d'Alene. And if you want to
yeah,
play this game,
totally.
even still, they didn't do the Joy-Con left-handed because
Yeah.
Link is a right-handed, except for the GameCube
Well-
Twilight Princess. he's
Well, so
left-handed.
traditionally Link is left-handed.
Right.
In Ocarina, Majora, everything.
right.
Until they started doing motion controls.
Yes.
They're like everyone else is right-handed.
1/10 of the world is left-handed. So,
No.
Yes.
1/10?
Yes.
That seems high.
yeah, but that's not.
You mean
that's-
like 1 in
hold up,
10.
Hear me out. That's
no,
not.
10%.
That's
of-
not
of-
enough.
of-
Like that's not too much of the population. We could just like population control, just end them, and then
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean that would
you guys would be nothing without left-handed people.
we'd be breeding out a really recessive trait, you know. So.
Yeah. No, but that game is just incredible to me.
It's
I
so
wish I could share
it's so
more.
good. Zelda in this game, maybe the first time in Ocarina, I was just smitten because I was like
I had a
7.
huge crush on Skyward Sword Zelda.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Skyward Sword. I fell for her so quick.
So hard.
She's so
She's perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
She really is.
She's innocent,
out
but
there.
she's feisty. She's
Yeah.
she's
She has,
like
I think, the most personality of any Zelda.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe Tetra. Tetra's got a lot of personality.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
That's true.
But
Spoiler
then,
alert
as soon as she
for
becomes
anyone
Zelda,
listening.
she's boring again.
Which one?
I don't know about that.
Tetra Zelda.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
cool
she
until
becomes
she
much-
becomes
yes.
Zelda. But yeah, Skyward Sword Zelda is great. And like her father is cool,
Mm-hmm.
and like Skyloft is cool. It's all great.
I would
And
try. I would.
Impa. Oh, Impa's so cool.
Oh, don't get me started. I would put Skyward Sword ahead one of Wind Waker.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
It's so.
I
so
think
good.
if I had to really just like judge it based on gameplay alone, I would put Wind Waker maybe higher, but they're pretty close for me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand that.
Dude, the epic moments in this game.
We have a lot of Zelda games left.
Nah, it doesn't matter. We
Yeah,
love this game.
that's true.
We're not gonna spend all our time on Spirit Tracks, Luke, when we can talk about Skyward Sword.
That's true.
Just
That-
saying.
okay,
That's true.
that is fair.
That's true.
I forgot Spirit Tracks was the one you shut me down on.
Yeah.
Wind Waker HD,
Never played it.
Luke.
Never played it.
What? Then you can't put it next to Wind Waker.
Yeah, it's better than Wind Waker.
Then put Wind Waker down to A.
That's fine.
You can put 2 Wind Wakers on S tier.
Yes,
I mean, it's the
actually,
same
Wind
game.
Waker's
Okay,
awesome.
well then put Switch Skyward Sword right ahead of.
I was
Wii
planning
Sky-
on it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
It's
Fine.
not yet in the list.
That's
Calm
fair,
down.
I guess. Whatever. I can't calm down.
Link Between Worlds. Either of you play this?
Didn't play it.
It's just a Link to the Past.
No, it's
according
not
to
just
you.
a Link to the Past.
I want to play it.
You told me to just play Link Between Worlds.
I didn't.
Instead of
I
Link to the
never
Past.
said that.
Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
Well, I
You said
recant.
it was this. It's,
I recant
it's
and
the
I
same
apologize.
game. You told me to play a Link Between Worlds instead of a
did
Link to
not
the
say
Past.
that.
Yes, you did.
I must have.
Yes, you did.
I.
You said it is.
Okay.
It is like.
I'm about to
like
admit it.
Like
Chill
shot
out.
for shot remake.
Jeez. I must have watched a review and just spit out everything he said because I do not agree with that. To the developers of this beautiful game, I apologize. That is not the
We are
truth at
so
all.
sorry.
I love this game.
I've wanted to.
I
It's
think
just-
Link to the Past is better. But this is the really pretty version. And it's not linear. You can do the temples in any order you want.
Oh, cool.
Because of the way that you get the items, which is weird. So you get the items in the temples that you need them. But in order to get into the temple, you need the item. So you can rent every item in the game from the start.
Oh, right. I remember you telling me about that.
And then you take it with you and you can use it. I think you can either pay to use it for a whole X amount of time, or you can just use it 3 times or something like that. I don't really remember, but it gives you a purple bar. Once the purple bar runs out of uses, then you lose the item.
Interesting.
But it's got a lot of character, this game. And the mechanic of going into the wall and it makes the reason they made it 3D actually matters. It's still top-down Zelda, but every now and then it will move the camera to
Right. And then it's 2D Zelda.
Not
really.
Not really. It's only for puzzles and stuff.
Oh, okay.
There's no combat or anything in the walls. But
Interesting.
it's just really cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it makes you wonder about every room.
Based off where you're putting it, it definitely makes me want to play it.
Yeah.
So
it's very good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it is absolutely not just a rehash of Link to the Past. I'm so sorry I said that. Majora's Mask 3DS. I think.
Does it take out a lot of stuff
this
from
one's
the OG?
it's gotta go above the original.
Is it if it's the same
Really?
but remastered?
No, I think this is actually a notch down from the original.
Really?
Yeah, the Zora swimming sucks. It's really bad.
Interesting.
And it's a lot easier because they they changed some things and they nerfed some things and they give you
changed how the time works.
They changed how
Oh.
they gave you a bomber's notebook from the beginning. I don't
What?
think you have
You
to.
don't have to.
I don't think so. And it tracks every quest. It makes it so easy. But yeah, I'll put it a notch down. Triforce Heroes. Anybody play that?
No, I didn't even know that was a game.
Twilight.
What is that?
Twilight Princess
No,
Remastered.
what is it?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am curious. Oh, you said you didn't find one on. You said you couldn't find one that had the proper that had all the Zeldas on it, right?
Yeah, I made this one.
Okay, I was gonna say you didn't put the kind of arcade-ish party ones like
Nah,
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah,
and,
I just did the mainline Zelda
Good.
games. Yeah. So Twilight Princess HD, I'm just gonna put right above Twilight Princess because
If you haven't played it, take it out.
I
Wait,
have played it.
Twilight
Triforce
Princess
Heroes.
HD.
What's
You
that
didn't,
on?
you didn't know about that? It's on
Right.
Wii U.
Oh, Wii U. Dang it.
I'm convinced.
I thought you were about to say Switch, and I was literally gonna poop my pants. It's been on the Switch.
I'm convinced Wind Waker and Twilight Princess will be coming to Switch this
I
year.
really
Please,
hope
please,
so.
please,
I really hope so.
Really hope so. Because I've always wanted to keep playing Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess HD is
Did you ever have that when
It's
you were a
just the
kid? You
same,
got to
but
borrow
better.
something that you had to give back.
Oh, for sure.
That was
Yes.
half the games
It
I
was the
played as a
worst.
kid. Was I really wanted to keep playing.
yeah.
Ugh. I've always wanted to.
Breath of the Wild is S tier.
Yes.
Nope.
Right there?
Move it down.
I wouldn't say it's
Move
the
it down.
best Zelda of all time.
I think it's better
Move
than
it down.
Ocarina.
You think it's
Okay,
better
well,
than Ocarina?
Yeah.
It's
Balance it out.
amazing. In fact, I've had more fun playing Breath of the Wild than Ocarina. But you can't take away of what Ocarina of Time was.
There's no temples.
So A New Hope.
But there's a gazillion.
One of
mini
the best
temples
movies of
the
all
Sheikah
time.
Stones, or
Yeah,
of the shrines.
But
It gave us Star Wars. It gave us Luke. It gave us Darth Vader.
Okay,
Incredible.
This is different.
Empire is
This-
better in
this
every
is-
way.
This is different. This is not Empire New.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
This
No,
is
it is not.
This is so it holds its own uniqueness. I don't think it's comparable because it's so open. It's so many like pieces of history put into this one game of all the other games.
That's true. Yeah.
So cool. I feel like it exists.
it does everything that they did better.
Yes, it's not that it's better than S tier. I just think it exists as like a tribute to all of Zelda.
Yeah.
And so I still think
S-tier.
Ocarina holds. Yeah, it's definitely S tier.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's top. I would put it
Yeah,
in between
I
that
don't
and
either.
Link's
I
Awakening.
think once it has the legacy that Ocarina has, people will say it's the best.
I agree with you.
But
I think
it's
it needs
too
to stand the
fresh.
test of
Luke
time.
hasn't even beat it.
What?
So-
I've beaten it
hold
3
on.
times.
But, like,
Same.
so I
Same.
put like 200 hours into it.
Yeah.
I want to like
Yep.
do everything
there?
before.
Mm-mm.
So
That feels
actually,
bad.
so I was no
Up one?
Up one. Yeah. So
Oh, that feels bad.
okay. I don't.
And you didn't
Continue-
feel bad about putting
continue.
it in front of Ocarina?
No,
So,
because then it's like best ever.
I
but
was
now
playing
I have
Breath
to
of the
choose.
Wild, and I got in like maybe like 40-ish hours into it,
Mhm.
and I was just so bummed with how easy the game was.
Breath of
Like,
the Wild?
Yeah, like that's
thought
that's
it
how
was
I
so
felt about
hard.
it. No, like I thought I didn't find difficulty in it like at all. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to go finish this game on like and then actually when I went and did the Master Sword trials, everyone was telling me like, "Oh, Master Sword trials, those are really hard."
They are.
And like it was difficult, but it was not as I was my like third or fourth try I went
For
through the whole
me,
thing.
I've never liked a video game that is so hard that I am trying for days. If it's that hard, I've never enjoyed that as like, oh, what a
Yeah,
fun challenge. It took
for
me
sure.
3 weeks to beat one boss.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
this,
no, I agree with you on that.
It's like training wheels when it comes to your dodge to slow down time and get your flurry attack or fury attack in or whatever.
Yeah.
Once I learned the time to do it, I don't think I ever missed a jump for
Totally.
the rest of the game.
Yeah, totally.
So I agree that it was easy in that aspect, but you had to get familiar with a certain
Yeah.
flow, which
Yeah,
requires some
definitely.
attention
and
to
it
detail.
feels
still-
good.
I still
Yes.
wanted
super satisfying.
some
yes.
more difficulty. So instead of going
Fair.
and finishing the game and beating it, I switched to the master mode version.
Did you get the DLC
then-
and
You have to beat it to get master mode.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, it just comes with the DLC.
Oh, is that true?
So,
Yeah.
so I got the
Oh.
DLC, and then I switched to master mode, and then I put like
In fact,
close to 200 hours.
when you get the
into-
DLC, they put master mode in right away, and they won't let you unlock the expansion pack until you beat the story. But it's ready to be revealed as soon as you finish the game to
Which
play.
part of the expansion?
The
Champions Ballot?
yeah,
No, I've done that.
that only gets sent to you when you've beaten a certain
think
level
that's
of the
right.
game.
I've played it. That's how you unlock the motorcycle.
Yeah,
I have the
that
motorcycle.
gets unlocked
Yeah, I don't think-
before you even.
Yeah,
I don't
you
finish
can just,
the
You
game?
can just go
Yeah.
do it.
Oh, I did that
'Cause-
2 different times
the
in a row,
whole,
and
the whole
then
thing
it
of the
unlocked
Champions
itself to me.
Ballot is like,
Interesting.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
maybe
to
it
the
wasn't
timing.
downloaded.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't downloaded. I'm like, oh, cool. They like,
Oh, so actually,
provide
I
it
did,
to you.
I did. So I
Because
did the
frickin' Zelda
Champions
calls
Ballot.
you. She
Oh,
calls Link.
I don't remember.
Remember? She's like, Link, come back to the
Right.
Shrine
Yeah,
of
that's.
Resurrection.
I downloaded it, and then the first time
Yeah.
I logged
Huh.
back in.
Even if you didn't finish
Yeah.
at least the actual main quest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, because once you finish the game, it just puts you back to before you finish.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm
And
thinking of then.
so now currently I am.
The motorcycle's dope, though.
I'm walking through the map like this to find all the Koroks,
Literally,
and then
you know
and
how
then
it
what-
shows you
never
your.
wanted
I'm
to
gonna
achieve
do.
it.
I'm gonna do everything.
You know how it shows you your like path, the champion's path.
I'll
His
have to
literally
show
is a
you
square.
Yeah.
Are you
I'll
serious?
have to show it to you.
It's like
I started. I did
the.
I did the place you start on. I forget what it's called. And then I just like booked it for the border and just like started walking circles around the map.
No
yeah, I'll have
way.
to show you my heroes. Pack.
Imagine doing that
Um,
and missing a Korok.
So, don't say that.
Well, you know,
Stop it.
Have you heard of what you get for finding them?
Yeah.
So why do you still want to?
I don't know.
Because there's
It's
a
the
percentage
game's
on
way
your
of
save
saying
file.
you
I'm-
suck. It's literally the game's way of saying you're an
No,
You
idiot.
wasted your life.
I'm not like I'm doing it to experience everything about the game.
I get it.
Like that's really what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But since I'm doing that, I'm grabbing all the Koroks along the way. I'm
Yeah.
wearing the Korok mask and I'm picking them up. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And part of what made me want to do it is our cousin was like, I'm gonna get all the Koroks, and he's like, I was like, are you looking him up? And he's like, yeah. Like, that doesn't count.
Well, there you go.
That's because there's like 900 of them.
Well, right. I was like, but that doesn't count. He was
It
like,
does
well, yes,
count.
it does. There's like 900. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And he was like, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get all the Koroks, and I'm going to get them all first, and I'm not going to look it up. So that's kind of like.
And you didn't get
Wow.
them first, not even close.
He doesn't have them all.
Yeah, he does.
No, he does not.
Is that true?
Yep, he still does not have them all. So
Wow, that's
I need to get back
insane.
into it, and I'm going.
There's
going to do
there's
it.
a map on IGN. Have you seen it for the Koroks?
No.
It's like an interactive map.
Oh.
So there, you like can filter what stuff you want to pop up, like shrines or whatever.
Cool.
So I hit Koroks, and you can't see the map.
Yeah.
So it's just
like
just the little leaf icons
so
everywhere.
What I have like
Checking them off is a nightmare.
traveled
my
in this game,
gosh.
I've done the desert because at first I was just walking in squares, but then I'm doing sections now. It's much easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
So I was walking around, and then so I've done the desert. I've done like all the coastal stuff, like all the coastal towns
Yeah.
and everything, and then I've done a little bit at the top, which not really any areas, just like top area, and I have like almost 300 Koroks,
Wow.
and that's all I've done.
Yeah, and
Like,
he's done
you're a
like
third
maybe
of the way through
15% of the map. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
so
Can't
I'm
believe it.
Okay. Link's Awakening remake.
That's the first Awakening that I played.
A Wink Awakening.
A winking.
Okay, so your review applies to this.
That's what I really appreciated. What I first felt like was kind of experiencing a nostalgic early Zelda game.
yeah.
And just loved it. I would put
It's
it
solid.
as I wouldn't put it.
You say S?
Where is Link's Awakening now?
It's
an
the
A.
third in from S.
No, that's Link to the
that's
Past.
Link to the Past.
Oh,
This
that's
is
Link
Link's
to the Past.
Awakening.
Yeah.
Oh, I would put it behind that one then. I thought that was what you had up top.
I think it's better.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it
Um,
since you played both.
I'll put it.
Really, over the Ocarina remakes though?
I'll put it here.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is Link to the Past. This has to go here.
Oh, did that get moved?
Yeah, I messed it up earlier.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I see.
I put it next to this one.
Oh, okay.
Skyward Sword HD is just Skyward Sword, but better.
Yes, it is.
Dude,
Finally got to play
The
it.
fact that you can skip the tutorial in this game, amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
So
And
nice.
Fee or Fi or whatever.
Faux.
I
That's actually pretty funny. Fee, fi, fo. You know, fum. I can't believe you didn't think of that. And I didn't either.
Thank you for the validation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, I actually like her now.
Oh yeah.
She was so annoying.
I always loved Fee.
Ah, dude, like shut up.
I got annoyed
And
by
she
the
always
sounds.
stops you. So imagine Navi, but she stops you all the time.
Yeah, you can't avoid it.
That would be frustrating.
Yes.
And the worst on the Wii was
oh, your health's low. Oh, yeah.
you've been playing this for a while.
Yeah, you need a break.
Shut up.
After like 2 hours.
Yeah. You've been playing for 30 minutes. Don't you need to get some water?
That's like the Netflix.
Shut
like,
up.
Are you still watching?
It's like, yes.
Like, yes, I'm still.
Yeah,
Stop
totally.
it! Like,
Yeah.
leave me
It's
alone.
making me
Like,
feel
Office.
bad.
yeah. I'm like, yes, I watched 4 seasons in one
Yes.
sitting. Shut up.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's the tier list.
Yeah.
What's that bottom one?
I feel pretty good about that. That's the
That's
one
the
none of us
Triforce
have played.
That's the what?
Try for
You didn't even put it on there.
Yeah.
Put it on D.
Okay.
Let's go.
What do we think? You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy.
If
with
there's
that.
one thing you could change, Luke, what would you?
Spirit Tracks top of S. I don't think I would change anything. I mean, I'm probably the
put
reason
the
I feel that
adventure of
way
Link
is
in
because I
top of
haven't
A.
beat so many of them. Once we'll have to come back and redo this once I beat them all.
Like 5 years from now?
Yeah, probably.
You don't play video games.
I play Call of Duty.
Yeah, I know.
I play Apex.
Nice.
I play other games too, but I've been playing too much Apex.
He like only plays Call of Duty.
Really?
No, it's because I'm making content for my YouTube channel
Oh,
at the
yeah.
moment, so like that's kind of what I've been playing.
Sure.
And but I do play other things. The thing I do, I replay games
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, I
Like,
do that too.
So like I'm replaying Coder currently, and then
For like the 4th time.
I'm also playing Halo. I'm doing the battle pass
Oh,
and the
cool.
events and stuff. But I've played like Dragon Age. So like I don't know, like I almost have every single achievement in Dragon Age.
I have
Wow.
too
One
many
of-
games
one
I
of
haven't
which-
played to replay games. I just don't
One
have
of which
Sure.
is like across all endings. I mean, across all playthroughs, get all endings. There's like 6 endings. So, like, I've played that game a lot. And then so I played Inquisition, and then I was like, well, I want to, like, do a linear storyline. So I went back and played Dragon Age 1 again, and then Dragon Age 2, and then I started Inquisition. So, like, I have a really bad habit of playing old stuff. But video games are for enjoyment.
Why don't you just save before the end and then do it 6 times?
Just do what you enjoy. That is how I got 2 of the endings.
So you cheated. Cheapskate. Fake gamer. Anyways.
Wow. Shots fired.
Well, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming, Jacob.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
I'm stoked that I could be on your episode.
We're going to have an awesome Patreon
I'm just glad that you had the right opinions. If I could change something, I would move Majora's Mask
kind of like old and slow. No, yeah. Triforce Heroes is
so we're gonna have a great Patreon conversation after this. We're actually gonna do, if you listen to our last week's episode, we're gonna go through that question list,
which has been updated and improved.
We have. So if you want to hear Jacob's take on all those games, jump over to Patreon.
That's all. Bye.
Thank you.
Push that
Thank you.